Well, here we are at episode 4 of I Got Another Old Camera, the Fujifilm X10. My name is Andrei Dima, and for those of you new to the channel, I'm a professional travel photographer, and today we are going to take a look at one of the first Fujifilm X series digital cameras, the X10. What is interesting about this camera is the fact that it's really hard to get one. Most people sell them at a price close to the X100, which is a far superior camera. It seems it is becoming a collector's item. Exaggerating here, but 300 euros is too much, so I got one that has a scratch on the back screen with the great price of 150 euros. From the start, I'm going to tell you, you won't get this camera for its specs, but rather the feeling it gives you. It is so well built, like a small metal brick, but with a great design. Yes, this is a gorgeous camera. The dials are metal, the collapsible zoom lens is metal, making it such a joy to hold this camera in your hands. Don't worry, the shooting experience is great as well, but more on that later. The retro design is similar to the one of the X100 and a bit like the X Pro 2. The rangefinder design makes this small camera so attractive. When I was taking sample photos for this video, a couple of people asked me what camera is that because it looked so good. This camera feels like the small brother of the X100. It is so nice to have an exposure compensation and mode dial on a compact camera. Also, the lens zoom is manual, not your typical electronic zoom of compact cameras. You have a function button that is firm and nice to press, nicer than most modern buttons. The back wheel is also clickable, a thing we are going to miss on future weather-sealed cameras, as we saw with the Fujifilm X-H2S. It seems this was a problem for the weather sealing. Now I'm going to be very skeptical about my X-T4's weather sealing. But let's get back to the X10. You get two custom modes on the command dial, which is a great thing to have. It has a small flash if you like flash photography, and for its size it's quite good. And the camera exposes almost perfectly when you use it, a thing that doesn't happen with most on-camera flashes. And of course it has an MCS dial. I am looking at you, Fujifilm X-E4. It has an optical viewfinder with an 85% coverage, but this OVF doesn't display any information. The screen is bright and for a camera this old has a decent resolution, and it is easy to see when shooting in bright conditions, like here in Valencia, Spain. The lens of the camera is a collapsible zoom that goes from 28mm to 112, with a variable aperture between f2 and f2.8. As I said earlier, the lens is made from metal, but it is more to this. The barrel is also made of metal. What can I say more? This is the most premium compact camera I have ever had the chance to try. They don't make them like this anymore. I would get a camera like this in a heartbeat if Fuji would make them again, with a modern APS-C sensor. Speaking about the sensor, this camera has a 12 megapixels, 2/3 of an inch sensor that is very capable and gives you some amazing colors. I saw some videos comparing this with a phone. I won't do that, but let me tell you something. This takes better photos than a phone if you know how to use it right. And what phone has the optical zoom like this camera? None. The sensor is helped by some really great glass. The lens is sharp starting from f2 and surprisingly sharp at the telephoto end, where most zoom lenses get worse. The f2 to f2.8 aperture helps in more demanding light situations. It is not great in very low light, but if you have some light and you expose right, you can get decent results. Oh, and another thing, Fujifilm also managed to add image stabilization in this small body. When looking at some photos like this one, which is a straight out of camera JPEG, you see the nice micro contrast and the 3D feeling. It has the same look like the 35mm f1.4. I got these results when shooting f4 and between 35mm and 85. It still looks amazing at 28 and 112, but those were more magic. This camera has an interesting mode called XR. I won't go into technical details, but this mode combines two 6-megapixels photos to give you better results in low light and other situations. When you use it, it recognizes the scene you are shooting and applies the settings the camera thinks are the best. Like most Fujifilm cameras, the X10 has the dynamic range option, which lets you choose between auto, 100, 200 and 400%. If you want to know more about this option, I have a video where I fully explain it. I got the best exposure results using the 400% and shooting JPEG. This camera also shoots RAW files, but in my opinion, this was built with JPEG in mind. You also have film simulations, not as much as modern cameras, but you have Provia, Velvia, Astia and a couple of black and white options. Not bad. The black and white images coming out of this little camera are just gorgeous. I took this while recording this video. A photo of my living room. I closed my blinds because there is a heat wave passing through Valencia, and look what beautiful contrast I got in this shot. The Fujifilm X10 also has a crazy macro mode. You can get so close at the wider end as you can see here. Overall, this is an amazing compact camera that feels premium. Sorry, it is premium. It has the best Fuji had to offer in an amazing little package. The big surprise for me was the image quality from a collapsible zoom lens. I didn't expect it. And the small 12-megapixel sensor still packs a punch. I love the warm and rich colors this camera gives you. I love this little camera. I know it is old technology, but great old technology that can still satisfy some categories of photographers. I hope you enjoyed episode 4 of my I Got an Old Camera series. Thank you all for watching. I am thrilled that this series got so much views. I promise I will make videos like this until you all get bored by them. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel, and if you want to support me even more, check out the links in the description below. See you next time!